What's going on, everybody? Dots Gaming here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to cover my best settings and keybinds for Apex Legends on PC. Now, obviously, the keybinds is a bit personal. This is just what I use, and everyone's keybinds are going to be slightly different, but this is what I found to be really good for me, and I do get asked about it on my stream, so I do want to share it with you guys. But I also really want to go over the video settings a lot. I feel like I found a pretty decent video setting configuration that will give you a really good balance between having your game look good and also giving you a really good amount of FPS. I very seldomly have performance issues inside the game, and the game does still look very solid, but I minimize the amount of any FPS loss that I do have. So I want to just go over those settings with you guys today. So hopping right into it, we're going to start with the video audio and then go over to the keybinds afterwards. So I do play on borderless window just because I do stream, so I do want to be able to move my mouse over to other locations. I do run 16.9, and I have a 1440p monitor that I'm playing on, so obviously just make this whatever your monitor's resolution is. Brightness, I leave it the default, and I've upped my field of view to 96. I know a lot of people do play at 110, but it gets a little bit too fishbowl-y for me. I'm really not a fan of it. So I say anywhere, but like 96 for me was the sweet spot. It was, my game defaulted to 90 when I first powered up Apex, but I wanted to raise it a little bit just to give myself a little bit more field of view, but without too much of that fisheye effect. So we ended up getting 96 ended up being the amount that I settled on personally. So you can raise this higher or lower depending on what you like. This is a very personal setting, but like I said, 96 felt best to me. Sprint view shake, you're going to want to put at minimum just so that you don't have your camera shake as much when you're sprinting. It gives you a much clearer picture of what you are chasing after. Now, I don't recommend generally having Vsync on. I mean, if you're having massive FPS issues and screen tearing, you can try turning it on. But I feel like for me, a lot of the times when I have Vsync on, actually it does more harm than good. But I also do, to be fair, I have a G-Sync monitor, so I don't really need the Vsync. But even before I had the G-Sync monitor, a lot of times I felt like Vsync kind of gave me some more issues than it helped. But this is really only you should turn this on if you're having tearing issues. Otherwise, you don't need to turn this on. Adaptive resolution FPS target, I have it 0. Anti-aliasing, I have it none. Texture streaming budget, I have it 3 gigs VRAM. I feel like this is a really good sweet spot for your textures. Any higher, if you have a really powerful PC and you're not streaming, you can definitely make this higher. But to me, medium was that really good sweet spot between having my graphics looking good and saving as much memory as I can for the in-game FPS. So I'm running at medium. We're running at texture filtering and anisotropic. I have the hell you pronounce that, 2x. For the same reason as above, really good balance between performance and looks. Ambient occlusion, I just totally turned off. This saves a heavy amount on your GPU load, so I just completely turned it off. Shadows low, sun shadow detail low. Again, reducing CPU and GPU usage, always a really good thing. Same thing with spot shadow detail. I just turned it off. I'm not really paying attention when I'm running around how details the shadow looked from the environment. So I just turn it off again, trying to give myself as much GPU and CPU as I can. Same thing with volumetric lighting and dynamic spot shadows, just disable them. And then model detail, effects detail, impact marks, and ragdolls, I put all on low. So these are what my settings are. And I know you're probably looking at this and you're like, your game probably looks really bad. But you can see from clips of my stream that my game still looks very solid. If you guys check me out on twitch.tv/dotsgaming, or if you watch my other videos where I highlight gameplay, you can see that my game still does look good. So like I said, I feel like this is a really good compromise with the way I have my settings between good performance as well as good, decently good graphics. Like I've seen some people that they play, it looks like they're playing Minecraft, but I'm not running a 2 PC setup to like stream and play the game at the same time, so I can't run like insanely high settings. So this to me has been my sweet spot. In terms of my audio, I have my master volume at 60% just so that I can kind of hear myself think. I have my computer's volume at a certain amount that I always leave it at, and so I kind of just tune the volume of my games to meet my needs for sound. And so for me that's 60%, but you just make that whatever you want. Sound effect volume, and dialogue, I keep it 100%, and then the music volumes that drop down at 33%. Sound and background on, play incoming text to speech off. That's my audio settings. And then in terms of my mouse and keyboard settings and keybinds, we'll hit this and then we'll hit gameplay. Sensitivity I'm going to cover in another video. You definitely want to turn off mouse acceleration, mouse invert, and I still have lighting effects on. And then in terms of my keybinds, we have obviously WASD for move forward and you know, back, left, right. We have left shift for sprint, space for jumped, left control to toggle crouch, and C to hold that for crouch. So for me, what I usually do is I still jump with spacebar. I know some people jump with the scroll wheel, but I jump with spacebar still. And so basically what I can do is when I'm sprinting and I'm going for a sprint jump, I can, you know, sprint at full speed, hit C to slide, and then move like the edge of my thumb onto my spacebar to do the slide jump. So that works very well for me. My tactical ability is still at Q. Ultimate is still on Z. Interact is E. Alternate interact is X. Inventory is toggle is tab. Map is M. Attack is obviously left click. Fire mode is B. I use aim down sight hold on my right click. I don't like toggling to aim down my sight. It feels really strange to me. And every, you know, shooter I played from when I was a kid, I always did hold to aim. So I just carried that over into Apex. Toggle aim for me is very strange. I like the hold. V is to melee, R is to reload. Now, cycle weapon and 1-2 equip weapon. I still have cycle weapon bound. You know, might want to be careful about this because sometimes cycling the weapons with the scroll wheel can mess you up. I keep it bound because I don't really bump into my scroll wheel too much. But I know some people do like unbinding this, so depends on if you're, you know, if you bump into your mouse wheel a lot, if you do unbind this. But if you don't, you can leave it if you want an alternative way to switch your weapons. But I would, you know, I normally use 1 and 2 and would recommend doing that as well. 3 to holster weapons, G to equip grenades. I still have all the default use item keybinds, but normally I just hold 4 and select which item I want. I don't really reach all the way over to 9 to use a Phoenix kit. Character utility action is still at H. Inspect weapon is N. Equip wheel is still T. I still click my middle mouse to ping. F is an enemy ping though, and enter to do chats, and then page down for screenshots. Gameplay wise, again, these settings are all very personal, but this is just what I use just so I have it in a video, and plus I do get some questions about it. Interact prop style, I leave it default. You can change this to combat if you would like. Less information, but I still like the default one. Button hints I still leave on. Crosshair damage feedback, I turned this off. I actually turned off hit markers. I found it way easier to aim without hit markers. You already have a decent amount of muzzle flash in this game and enough stuff that's blocking your vision. I kind of want as much vision as I can when I'm shooting at my targets as possible. So I turned this off, and I still leave the damage numbers on. So that's how I know if I am hitting my targets, and I leave that on stacking. Ping opacity is default. Obituaries are on. Minimap rotation, weapon auto cycle, and auto sprint I leave on off. Damage feedback I leave on 3D. Taking damage closest death box menu, definitely turn this off. This will allow you to armor swap way easier. Streamer mode I just leave off. Usage sharing is still enabled. Colorblind mode is off. Subtitles off. Subtitle size normal off. So those are my gameplay settings. I already think I went over all this. I think that covers everything, guys. So that is my setting configuration for Apex Legends and how I have my game set up. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. This is just, again, what I've been using and what I found has been working well for me. If you guys want to keep up with the Apex content I put out on my channel, please be sure to hit that sub button as well as hit the bell to keep notifications on. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watching this video today. It means a lot to me. As always, I'm Dots Gaming. See you all in the next video. Have a good one.